in high school, when I came home with my sister one night from being out with friends, we found my mother. She was hiding in the shrubbery of our garden, and when I looked in her eyes, I could see fear mixed with drunkenness. She herself was intoxicated, and I was trying to decipher what she was saying. Turned out she and my father were fighting early on in the evening, and she was also drinking, and the alcohol gave her some strength to fight back against my father. So she took a blunt object and she smashed him over the head and she cracked his skull. She came to hide in the garden because she was too afraid if he is alive, he might inflict harm back on her. So I ran into the house just to be stopped dead in my tracks. There my father was lying unconscious on the floor, a pool of blood around his head and a gaping wound on the side. I started crying because that's the best I could do as a child innocent witnessing this. I knelt down next to my father, I lifted up his head, I put it in my lap, and I was crying because the two people that I loved the most were cutting into one another like broken pieces of glass, destroying every single bit of self-worth that they had within one another. I got up, I ran down to the bathroom, and I got a towel so that I could put it around my father's wound. I slowly put the towel around him, I whispered his name, and he slowly regained consciousness. The next minute, my mom came from the garden, fearful, afraid, scared, around the corner, and my father saw her in the corner of his eyes like a wild animal. He leaped to his feet. He started screaming with rage. He grabbed her by the hair. He was dragging her down the hallway. He threw her into the bedroom, onto the floor, and he locked the door. I was screaming to my sister, "Call the police, he's gonna kill her." I was banging on the door. I was saying, "Daddy, Daddy, please, let her go, you're gonna hurt her." I could hear the faint cries of my mom, pounding of my father's fist upon her face. "Dear Lord Jesus," I prayed, help us all." The police arrived, but felt after hours. They broke down the bedroom door. My father was shoved forward violently by the police officer, and I was looking for my mother. My mother was lying in a helpless pile on the floor, blood everywhere. Words cannot describe my brokenness, as something inside of me was ripped open, seeing her like that. Dear Lord, I helped her up. She was limp, she could barely walk. Blood everywhere, bruised everywhere, broken. He was not compliant with the police, so they clobbered him to the floor. He smashed his head against the pavement. By now we have neighbors looking on, we have people in the street, and the shame just comes over you like a crushing wave. They chained my father to the back of the police van, and as I saw them driving off, a darkness spread